Hey everyone, it is Wednesday the 21st, or 22nd of January now. I'm not sure which one. Back to logging. Was back yesterday after my ice fishing trip. Of course, if it's not one thing, it's another. So we got the boom on last week before I went on my little trip, ice fishing trip, and yesterday I got there, and I guess the forwarder's been having a little bit of trouble starting. The preheater hasn't been working correctly, and I kind of tended to think that it was fuel. Those preheaters work well as long as the fuel is cut well enough for cold weather. If they're not, they're real finicky. So I thought, well, we'll get the forwarder going, and then I'll go buy some K1, and we'll put some K1 in it, and it'll smooth everything out. Well, we just couldn't, it was like, I think Wes's truck said 9 below, and when he got there in the morning, I got there a little after him, and so we hooked the jumper cables to the starter, which only really helps. It doesn't charge the batteries. It just gives you a little more juice, or helps a little bit, but not enough. So thing wouldn't crank over fast enough to be able to use ether. That's a high pressure fuel rail system, and it has to build enough fuel pressure and turn over fast enough for the computer to even let the engine fire. So ether wouldn't work, and it was just like throwing mud at the wall. We were like, okay, well, we'll jack the cab up and get the jumper cables hooked to the batteries, because you've got to tilt the cab up to do that, which seems a little more difficult than it needs to be, but no, whatever. Then the jack wouldn't work, so I pushed on the side of the cab where it's a good solid piece of metal with the harvester to push the cab up. Put the jumper cables on there. Didn't make one bit of difference. Still turn over slow. Find out the preheater. Found out there was a series of blinking red lights that would indicate a certain code, which was coolant flow. So the little electric coolant pump on the preheater is not working, and that's $1,000. And then at the same time, talked to a few other people, and it's like, well, haven't changed the batteries in 3 years, so probably the batteries, or it's not helping. So we sent Wes to get new batteries. We put new batteries in it. It didn't turn over a lick faster. So I'm like, that's weird. If you put new batteries in it in cold weather like that, it should turn over faster. Of course, by that point it was like 20 degrees out, but then I called my favorite cat mechanic, Sanford, and I have a lot of faith in him and his experiences and knowledge. So he said, well, there's a diverter valve on top of the hydraulic pump underneath the cab that's supposed to divert all the hydraulic oil back to the tank, so you're not stroking up the pump and loading the engine. He said you can take like 1/4 inch pilot line off or whatever it is, and if it turns faster, that's not working right. I did that. That didn't do anything. So talked to him again and a couple other people, and I guess we're thinking it's the starter. I don't know what else it would be. So Wes is running up to. I had him set one out up to the store, and he's gonna pick it up this morning, and then I'm gonna put that on. Hopefully that does the trick, because if it doesn't, I'm not sure what else it would be. So so here's the starter right there. I'm gonna, before I get going, taking this off, spray some PB Blaster, like lubricant, on the studs. Hoping that kind of makes it a little easier. I can't remember. It's not really that hard to get off. There's a couple in here that, if I remember right, are a little pain to get at. So, and here's the preheater, and that little motor right there is the coolant pump. So I don't think it'd be $1,000, but here's where they jacked the cab up. Of course, we had the air filters out. I mean, we got stuff strewn everywhere. There are the batteries. We put new batteries right there. So I was talking to my brother-in-law last night too, and he's got kind of the same equipment, and made me feel a little better. He kind of said the same thing, that he's had that problem before with it cranking slow, and changed the batteries, wasn't that, and changed the starter, and that took care of it. So anyways, I'll be back. All right, we got the starter off. Go over here and show you it. Not much to it. There's the starter. Kind of seeing there where it went. Just waiting for Wes to come back with the new one now, so I'll be back. Well, we got it going. I didn't get the test run, but we got put the new starter in. Definitely turned over faster. Still, I think we had tried to start it so many times that it still kind of took a few tries. And I don't know if we, because that has to burn up turn a certain amount of RPM to build enough fuel pressure to start. So I'm kind of wondering if we pushed enough fuel back into the tank or through the fuel filters that maybe got a little air in there, because it turned over a lot faster, but still we used ether and it kind of started to chug a little, and then ran out of ether, and then I think it tried it a couple more times, and then it started right up, and she was definitely cold, and turned it off and started it again. Definitely a big difference in how it started. So Wes is just bolting the limb riser things back down from tilting the cab up. So looks like we got it, and Mark's here loading. I don't know if I said it earlier in the video, but we got the road to work, so the road's froze up, so we're able to truck. I was hoping to not have him, we had quite a good pile of wood here, and he can do probably 5-6 loads a day. Good going, it's close, so was kind of hoping not to have him, to be able to keep going on the piling, but at least we had enough wood to so he didn't run out while we were fixing the forwarder. So we got new batteries, new starter, and hopefully that'll solve our issues, and we'll see how it starts tomorrow. But I think it seems like that shit, like, we've got it taken care of, so anyways, figured I'd kind of show you guys that, and like, subscribe, comment. We'll catch you later.